Hello, Kaarina.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I really do appreciate it. I know that you were a rhythmic gymnast, and from there you went on into coaching, but maybe you could tell me a little bit about how that all came to be.
My parents are from Finland, and rhythmic gymnastics is extremely popular there. And I started rhythmic gymnastics when I was 3. Had gone to university for kinesiology and wanted to be an athletic coach, which is what I did. I worked at the High Performance Training Center in Toronto and worked with world and Olympic athletes. Performed in 1976 at the Olympic Games in Montreal when it was a demonstration sport, because you always have to have a demonstration sport before it gets accepted. Was then the youngest president of a national sport governing body in 1980 when we were lobbying for inclusion of the sport, and the sport got included into the Olympic tableau. In 1984, I was doing commentary for CBC Sports, and Lori Fung won the gold medal, first ever in the sport.
What a high. That must have been incredible.
It was. First ever gold medal in our sport ever, because it was the first time it was in the Olympic Games. I had coached Lori, but I wasn't the coach on the floor because I was doing broadcasting for CBC. We had quite an interesting time because we weren't expected to win the gold medal. Basketball was on live, and when we won, everything was finished and we were being congratulated. It was wonderful, but my producer came on to my headphones and said, "We're going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I had a blank screen in front of me. And when you're commentating, you need to know the routine sort of backwards and inside out. So I commentated it with a blank screen in front of me. So one of the highlights that I don't even know how it happened.
How on earth did you manage that? How did you do that?
Well, you know, the producer was talking in my ear, and I knew where she was on the floor, and I knew the routine a million zillion times. So I did see the tape afterwards, and I was quite pleasantly surprised that it actually worked.
So you weren't saying things like you were talking about a move that had already happened 10 seconds ago.
No.
It was happening.
Yeah.
It was happening.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm fascinated, actually. What is the connection between coaching elite athletes and business coaching?
Somewhere along the line, someone said, "You know what you do for athletes, business could really use." It's really coaching individuals. A lot of the work that I do in facilitation and strategic planning is getting diverse groups to be able to come to consensus and to work together. And that's really just looking at each individual and trying to bring out the best in them. So I didn't find it that different than dealing with athletes.
Ever bump your head against the glass ceiling?
No.
Really?
No.
And what do you attribute that to?
You know, I've never had a job. I mean, I'm an entrepreneur. I've always run my own business. So I do think that perhaps had I been in a job,
corporation,
which would have very different kinds of rules that I just didn't experience. So I'm not minimizing the fact that exists.
No, absolutely.
That exists. I'm just really fortunate that I haven't encountered it, and I think it's probably a large part because I've carved my own path and chosen those ways and haven't been confined by any kind of bureaucratic or structural issues that other people have experienced.